Okay, I want to spend some time now that you've at least been introduced to me, and hopefully I've had a chance to review a little bit of the PDF of the syllabus. I'm going to take you through a little bit of this here to highlight some of the aspects that I want to make sure that you're familiar with. So as we're looking through again, my name is Michael Barber. I'm an adjunct faculty member here in the Department of Educational Technology at Boise State. As I mentioned in the introduction, I also am a Director of Doctoral Studies here at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. I mention that because obviously my office is going to be a virtual office, if you will, like many of the faculty that teach within the Department of Educational Technology at Boise State. I'm not physically based in Idaho. And so you can see my cell phone number is there. It's a 203 number here in Connecticut. My email and my Skype. Gmail chat and Skype are generally the two best ways of getting a hold of me. Being in Connecticut, I am on the Eastern time zone, so depending upon where you are, that's one of the things that you probably want to keep in mind, particularly if you're going to call me. And by all means, do call me if you've got any questions and you don't see me on Skype. If I'm in front of my computer, I will have Skype open. So that's why Skype and GChat are always a good way of getting me, because I'll always be there for it. So if I'm in front of my computer, those will be open and you'll get a response fairly quickly. You'll also come to learn throughout the semester that I'm quite good at getting back when it comes to email. I'm very prompt with that as well. But if you're doing something, particularly something in a technical sense, doing something with your blog or your Twitter or your RSS reader that you're putting together that just really quite isn't working for you the way you want it to be working for you, that's when, in all honesty, I'd say give me a call, because those are the kinds of things that technical issues, if you don't get through step 3, you're not going to get through steps 4, 5, and 6. And if you've got X amount of time to work on something, you don't want to have to wait 90 minutes or 60 minutes or even 40 minutes or 20 minutes for me to respond to an email. So that's the time to call me. But again, keep in mind that I am on Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, sorry. So going through the syllabus here, a lot of it is fairly standard. It gives you a little description of the course. It tells you a little bit about the EdTech program, which I suspect is standard in all of the syllabi. Here are some of the specific learning objectives that we're going to cover in this course, and again, this would all be fairly standard. There is no textbook to buy in the course. All of the readings are going to be contained in Moodle, or will be websites that are linked from Moodle, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Again, the required software, technical support, I suspect all of that is consistent for all of your classes that you're doing here at Boise State, so if you've seen them before, basically, this is just the standard language that all faculty are asked to include in their syllabi. The same thing with the hardware and software requirements. The schedule is a little bit different, and the schedule has actually changed a bit from previous semesters. As you may have been told, historically the summer semester at Boise State has always been an 8-week semester. This year that's been changed to a 7-week semester. It works out kind of well for this course, because the first couple of 3 weeks of this course were a little bit slow initially as we got everyone onto the same page when it came to blogging, because some of you are already using blogging tools right now, whereas some of you are coming to this course brand new, having never looked at Blogger, WordPress, or EduBlogs, or any of those other tools before. So this is something that is totally new to you. So the fact that we've decreased a week, I've taken that away from the front end of the course, so it should be a little bit better for you as you're going through. There's a section in here about free and open exchange of ideas, classroom climate. I would ask that you actually read through those 3 paragraphs, because given the fact that we're going to be blogging and microblogging all semester, basically that means we're going to be doing a lot of talking to each other. We're going to be doing a lot of discussing. So in terms of how you look at this sort of online class environment, I'd ask you to take a look at that. Looking through, here is the specific schedule. You'll note that there are tasks along the side. readings in the middle, and sort of the topics that we're going to cover over these 8-week periods. You'll note when you go into Moodle each week, I'll actually finish each week with a week, or the content for each week, with a weekly checklist that goes through and tells you everything that you need to do and the dates in which I'd like you to have those things done by. So using those weekly checklists are probably a good idea, and this way you can, here's sort of an overview picture, but those sort of give you the nuts and bolts of it for each week. So you'll see the 7 weeks that we're going to be doing here, and you get a real overview sense of this as well. Here's a complete list of all of those readings in terms of their full APA citations, although again these are all either the PDF of or the link for is actually included in Moodle, so you don't have to worry about using them here. I just provide them here so you've got them sort of all in one place for sort of a one-shot deal here. So once you get past all of these readings, again, I think you're looking at some standard language when it comes to accommodations and faculty-initiated drop. Looking at the assignments, you'll see that as our weeks will run from Monday to Sunday, when things are due halfway through the week, that means they should be due by essentially midnight on Wednesday. When things are due at the end of the week, that means that they should be done by the end of the day on Sunday. But again, in those weekly checklists, you'll see the specific dates that I'm going to ask you to do things by. In terms of the actual assignments, here's the list that you have that you're responsible for, and there's a little bit more about each of these in Moodle itself. One of the, I guess, odd things about this course is that for the most part, with the exception of this classroom blogging activity here, pretty much everything else isn't assigned a grade until the end of the semester. So this is one specific week in which we're going to look at sort of 3 different ways of doing classroom blogging, either with your students. So the rest of them, the blog entries, the commenting, the microblogging, those will be ones that we start in the first week or 2 and you continue throughout the semester, whereas the blogging plan and the classroom blogging activity are 2 assignments that are due in the final week. So if you look at it, your actual formal grades for 5 of these 6 items will be actually assigned after the final, or at the end of the final week of the semester. Now what I will do throughout the semester, and I'll probably do it 2 or 3 times prior to the end of the course, is I will give you an update on these first 3 items. So the blog entries, the commenting, and the microblogging. Usually after about week 3 or 4, and then again about week 5 or 6, and if I do it in weeks 3 and 5, possibly in week 7, I'll sort of give you a sense as to, based on what you've done up until now, this is what I would give you as a grade if I had to stop and grade it today. And usually that will come with some advice in terms of, these are the things you need to do in order to improve upon your grade, or these are the things that you need to do to continue to score at this particular level. So hopefully that formative evaluation that you get on those first 3 items will give you a good sense as to how you're going to do when the summative evaluation comes up, because again, essentially 90% of your grade will be assigned in the final week, so you won't have a really good sense as to how you're doing in the course if you didn't get this formative feedback as we go along. So continuing along, the confidentiality and privacy statement, faculty-initiated drop again, grades, course expectations, participation, resources, and professional associations, and then the standards addressed in the course. I suspect all of this is standard language, with obviously the exception of these ones, because this should be specific to this particular course. But every single course that you've done through Boise State should have this list here at the end of their syllabus. The academic honesty policy is standard that should be filled out in every single, or should be available to you in every single one of your syllabi. And that basically takes us to the end of the document. So if you've got any questions about the syllabus, please email me right away, because making sure we're on the same page in terms of what we're going to be doing and what my expectations are of you, and for that matter, what your expectations for me in terms of this course should be. We want to make sure we're on the same page for those things right out of the gate. So if you do have any questions, feel free to email, call, Skype, G-chat me, and I'll do my best to clear up any questions that you have.